we put all different kinds of losses on the board, and it's huge. There's loss of things like hope and health and love and self-respect. Just I mean it's huge. It fills the blackboard with the different kinds of losses that we can have. So absolutely. I think most of us are struggling with some kind of loss.
Yes.
At any given time.
We certainly are.
Some better than others. And if we have multiple losses, one on top of the other, that can make it even more difficult.
Yes. Layers of regret. It's very, very difficult. And again, it's, finding some little thing that makes you laugh, a piece of music that's soothing and comforting, whatever it takes to make your world a little bit more comfortable. You might not be making it happy, but if it's comfortable and soothing, maybe that's all you need. Yeah. You must deal with this a lot in your job at hospice. Grief in general, grief at the holidays, loss in general. It's, there's a tenet in Buddhism. I'm not an expert in Buddhism by a long shot, but I know it talks about life as suffering and life as loss, and it is loss, but and I don't. It's a reality. It's a fact that we deal with from the moment we're born. It's change. Change is the only constant, is something that I live by, and I encourage others to embrace, because change is the only constant. And who likes change? Nobody likes change. One does. Yeah.
But it's important to embrace the reality of change. And I think in my counseling, when we deal with loss, of course, listening is a huge part of it, and weaving the story and the details and finding a way to move forward. A favorite quote I like to use is, "To turn away from life does not honor the dead; it fails them." So,
wow,
it's our duty to live. We watch people die. People watching have watched their loved ones die. They're grieving for them. And that's what they had to do. They had to find a way to let go of life. So, and that's really difficult, to let go of life. For those who are left, it's up to us to hold on to life and to live happily and find the beauty. Grieve for that time and be sad and acknowledge that sadness and cry and scream, feel. And
but also laugh.
Yeah, because that's what life is. Life is a balance. That life is two sides of the same coin. Happy, sad, good, bad.
Right.
And for all the times that we're sad, it's important to find the times of joy too.
Yes. Yeah. For everything there is a season.
That's right.
Turn.
Turn.
And we have to turn from the grief to the joy that you can find in your life. And you can always find some joy. You can find, whether it's someone in your life that you care about that is still there, or a beautiful sunset, or the wonderful book you just read, or the movie you saw. There's always something that you can find some joy in, and treasure that, not turn away from that.
And find the joy. It's snowing.
But
look how beautiful it is. Yes.
It was so pretty yesterday.
Yes. I have to drive in this. Well, you know what? That was yesterday. Today it's fine.
Yes.
I don't know.
The sun is shining today, so let it go. I came home in the snowstorm from Florida Monday night.
Ouch.
It was pretty tough. But I was happy to be back in Western New York, because Florida's not my favorite place to be.
And wasn't it nice to get home to a warm house and food in the fridge? And
have a cup of tea.
Nice something warm to drink, and your animal, whatever, just the simple things. It's important to find the joy in.
Yes, because you still have those. You might not have this or this, but you still have this. So hang on to that. And for some people, when you're grieving, it feels like you have nothing left. Like what is the point? And it's okay to be in that hole, but just know that you will come out. It's important to, and when you're down and you're in that hole and you're just sitting, rocking back and forth in the fetal position, and you don't want to know what's out there, and that's okay in the short term.
For a little while.
In the short term, and sometimes when you give yourself that permission to be miserable, it makes being happy all the more rewarding and joyful because you're in that moment. You're living it.
Yeah.
So live the sadness and live the joy because it's all life.
Hospice has to be an amazing place to be at times, but also a very difficult place to spend your work day at times, I'm sure. But it's such a wonderful resource because the things that are done with joy and such a feeling of giving and sharing that I think it's very, I don't know if uplifting is the right word when you're in that time of your life, but it's very supportive for a family to deal with what they have to deal with in the hospice environment. And I can attest to that because I experienced it. And it helps you to think, it helps you to sort things out and put things in their right perspective because you're getting care for the person who's ill, but you're also being cared for as well, and that means a lot. What else is in your bag of tricks, Nancy?
Oh my goodness. Well, you said music, and I have some particular songs that I really love that are about self-care and proud of being whatever feeling there is inside of me. And we talked about the inner critic, and the singer always sings about the inner critic.
Oh, really?
I can't remember how it goes, but I'm going to tame my inner critic, she says.
That's right.
It's like, okay, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. I try to keep a lot of light in my home, whether it's a candle or open windows. It just helps me, the warmth, the light. It gives me a sense of hope. I'm also thinking about our patients. When we have patients who are ill and you've lost a sense of who you are, that purpose, that life, this is who I am, and all of a sudden that changes. So finding that kind of support, not only for the people who have already lost someone, but before that as well. Finding ways to be grateful for the moment. And I found we talked about joy and happiness, but I can start with gratitude for one little thing, and that can open the door to finding a little bit of joy and hope. If I can't find anything to be grateful for, I have a pair of shoes, I have a sweater, I'm warm, I have a home, I have a car, I can find something. I have a meal, something. I have a friend, find something to be grateful for, and then, like I said, it can open that door to being happy.
And you do have to open yourself to those feelings too. When you're down, you kind of want to shove all that away, and you need to open yourself up and allow those things to come in as well, and really feel them so that they can bring you up a little bit. They, and okay, you'll go back down again, and that's all right too, but allow yourself to be uplifted, that you're, sometimes I feel like people think for instance, in mourning, that they should be in mourning and not enjoy anything and not laugh and not have a good time, kind of like Victorians dressing in black for a year and wearing a veil, and I hope most people have gotten beyond that.
I
and
hope
they
so
can
too.
let go of feeling like you're being judged if you're enjoying life and you shouldn't be enjoying life because you're grieving, but no, you can, and it's okay. It's a mixed bag of feelings that you're going through.
It's an external judgment and an internal judgment.
Yes.
It's guilt, and we feel a lot of guilt. How can I laugh and find joy when my loved one has died? There's a lot of self-judgment, and in what you just said, I thought about our culture. Our cultural expectations of each other and of ourselves. Different cultures have different expectations. Different religions have different ways they deal with death and loss and grief. And this culture, I hope, like you said, that it's evolving. And I think in ways it is. We're looking at different ideas about burial. With green burials, we're looking at, we have, like we talked about earlier, death cafes, where we're talking more about the reality of death, and coping and living with grief, where it is coming out more into the mainstream, and I hope it continues. And I appreciate shows like this that does address what's so difficult for so many.
And it's part of life. We have to expect that at some point we're going to lose someone that we care about very deeply.
Absolutely, many times over.
We need to think about this ahead of time and kind of prepare ourselves in small ways for the reality of dealing with this when it comes to pass. We can't run away from it or hide from it.
No.
It just makes it harder to get through, I think, if you're not realistic about what's going on and what you have to lose and what you had that you can be joyful about.
Right.
We all have that.
You talk about preparation for those kind of losses. I think the most important thing is to find things in your life now that bring you joy and bring you pleasure, that are not necessarily connected to other people.
Nice.
Things that you can do with yourself, for yourself, by yourself, so that when you do lose someone, you've got a sense of self.
Yeah.
Not only that
Purpose.
relationship, but you are a whole person by yourself.
Nice.
And that's
very important. Absolutely. I have so enjoyed talking with both of you today. I'm glad you could be here from Niagara Hospice and share the resource that you offer through hospice. It's amazing. And also talk about the things that the Mental Health Association has to offer. People can call us, they can get on our website, they can find us and have someone to talk to and get connected with. Thank you both very much.
Thank you for having us.
Maybe we'll have
It's
another
delightful.
conversation in the future about
great.
some other aspects of grief and dying and living and enjoying what life we have together. It's